Hello, lovely people. It has been an interesting journey trying to get ready for this live stream. I came into town early to try to get a good spot in the place that I usually go to. Well, not usually, but whatever. Closed, busy, all of these things. Anyways, thankfully, I'm here with you now. God and Goddess, thank you for everything that you have given us and for helping me find a spot to record. Please help us be enlightened and uplifted through our discourse and the things that we discuss. In the name of Elohim, I pray. Amen. I don't always start my Wednesday streams with prayer, but last week someone commented on my video and said, you should start all of your streams with prayer. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe. We'll see how I feel inspired to. Hey artist, how's it going? Hello everyone. Had this stream on standby. Aw, thanks. Yeah, I apologize about the delay. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay and everything like that. I got my hot tea. I'm settled in, and anything that you would like to chat about, feel free to put it in the live chat and we will chat about it. Some of the things that I wanted to talk about some of the things that I kind of mentioned bringing up in conversation was the fact that there are different transvestigation groups that are literally, well, let me just show you. Here we go. Why that got so small. Okay, so this one's called Transvestigation Disclosure Now Candid, and you can literally see this group was created as an uncensored version of other Facebook groups, Transvestigation Disclosure Now. We strictly distance from Inanna Snow's censorship and her narcissistic behavior. We don't defend anyone. We just want to be candid and break down every person without prejudice. Oh, except for me, right? Nobody should be condemned without enough proofs. We also support Mr. E work, who stands to the Bible and traditional Christianity. Inanna Snow's preach against Bible and the support of New Age doctrine is highly suspicious, as well as her Adam's apple. There's a lot to unpack in there. And let's just kind of get into the little silliness of this. For those of you who don't know Mr. E, that literally, can you hear that I'm saying the word mystery? Mr. E. It is a commonly used invert nickname or joke, like, oh, it's a mystery what they are, right? Not. And I have spoken against them in multiple different ways and even posted or whatever, like the video that they are promoting eating bugs, which is literally right along with the deceiver's agenda to degrade us. And they were even using the Bible from a biblical platform, like their followers are mainstream Bible people. They're talking about it all the time. They relate all the transvestigation stuff back to the Bible and all this stuff. They're using Bible verses to justify eating bugs. And so it's like, you're literally corrupting people and like trying to get them to eat bugs using this Bible. It's really crazy. Anyways, as far as, New Age doctrines and all of that, I teach the original teachings of Christ, and a lot of stuff like yoga and mudras and the signs and symbols are considered New Age when they are way older than your mainstream version of Christianity. And the evil ones have used these signs and symbols and different things and inverted and corrupted and perverted them, and I don't go along with that. Yoga, different mudras in specific, those two things are really powerful. We can literally put the hand is, let me just turn this off for a second and go back to me. Oh, that's the other slide. The different elements are represented on the hand in your different fingers, and putting them together in different formations, mudras, can bring about different results. Like when people are trying to meditate or concentrate, often you'll see them using the 666 mudra. The prana mudra can be used if you are feeling low on energy and want to feel invigorated. I've used both of those during fasting for helping with energy, helping to get rid of stomach aches and hunger pangs when I don't feel good or other things. I personally look for natural medications and not medications, but natural methods to alleviate my problems. And if you can literally put your fingers together and help alleviate a headache instead of taking an Advil or a Tylenol or whatever the world wants you to take, why wouldn't you do that? Anyways, yoga is something that I'm going to start myself practicing more. Hatha yoga is something that Lord and Lady Christ taught their disciples. Ha and Tha being the sun and moon aspect, the masculine and feminine, and the yoga union between them both, and combining that energy within ourselves and aligning to that, and the powers that be have perverted and demonized that as well with the inverted agenda, right? They have their own ideas, often their own scriptural teachings, that Adam was a hermaphrodite or an androgynous being, and they use those beliefs to justify watching their bodies and the physical inversion. And whether they believe that or not, that is a different story. They're using a true idea of those energies that were once one. Then Ya became Ja and Jala, right? And the masculine and the feminine were created from that and continue to exist together throughout all of creation. And that's really beautiful. But I guess I got into this tangent by saying that they have perverted and inverted that, and yoga and different colors and all of these different things. So it's really crazy, when so many mainstream Christians will just label everything new age without looking underneath the surface and realizing why their religious teachers, who have, just like doctors have incentive of keeping you as their patients, your tithe, your energy in the pulpit. I was thinking the other day about the modern way of praise and worship, and how you have like a band or a group on the stage, and then everybody in the crowd is directing their energy towards you, and even, putting their hands, sending out this literal praise. And I used to love being in church, and like that, what I thought at least was God's presence, and that is just it's really awesome energy to be in, and we're literally sending that towards these performers. And in contrast to that, the Mother Temple in Florence, when we do praise and worship, we do song circle, and everyone's holding hands, and it's like you're kind of you don't, I mean, you can look around, but obviously it's not like weird eye contact and stuff. um, but it's more like a group thing. No one's really being put on a pedestal, and we're all like projecting our voices out, and if you think about it in an energetic way, they're kind of like colliding with each other and making this just beautiful whirlwind of sound. And it's like all of that energy is getting sent up, essentially, because that's what it is for. It's not getting sent to people that are on a stage that are just kind of taking that energy. But anyways, your pastors, just like the doctors, have an incentive to keep you in the church. And that's not to say that they are particularly nefarious, but they aren't questioning things, right? Religious things are really hard to question for a lot of people. And when you're a pastor, you're going to be invested in that religious stuff, in those studies, and you may never ever break out of that, because I don't know how often they're actually sincerely praying. Because if you were sincerely praying to God, then I think that the breakthroughs of enlightenment of God isn't into animal and human sacrifice, eating animals, all of these different things are going to be revealed through us when we're diligently seeking. But so many people are just seeking within the realm of this book is the end all be all. And I gotta follow it to the T. You don't question it, and it's not a relationship with God and Goddess. It is a religion, and I literally born and raised in the religion, and I would be like, it's not a religion, it's a relationship, while not having the relationship that I now have through real true teachings. So, anyways, back onto this tirade here. um, so yeah, New Age doctrine. And then as far as the Adam's apple goes, I have in the past worn a choker, and that is why they started falsely accusing me of an Adam's apple. And it's like, look at all of the pictures, the photos, the videos of me before I started wearing the choker, and you can see that there's no Adam's apple. And so it's just unrighteous judgment, but they do it with the celebrities as well. Anytime anyone is wearing a choker, they just, for some reason, one of the investigators got this in their head early on, probably Mr. E or what was that? I want to say Poncho Pete, but I'm thinking of Hans Wormhat maybe, or one of these like weird shills that just makes everything. Anyways, they've just blindly accepted this, and then they unrighteously judge, even when we have pictures with and without, and they don't have it. So, anyways, that's just one group that is against me. I've been talking about it for like 10 minutes. So, the other group and is called a Transvestigation Disclosure, not ran by one of them. In the description, again, this group is not ran by one of them. A Decepticon that tells half truth, has covered up clavicles for years, which I never have like covered up my clavicles at all. I have shown all my body biomarkers literally since the beginning, because as I have awakened, I have requirements for the people that I follow. If I tune on a YouTube channel or something, I'm going to transvestigate these people first. If I come across the Facebook and I'm like, oh, maybe I should start looking a little closer at their posts. I don't really follow anyone, so it's kind of a weird thing. But when people come across my screen and they're especially truthers, I'm like, let me see your biomarkers. That's the first thing that I want to hear before you even present information. Yeah, I would like to hear the information, but before I trust you, I want to make sure that you are what you say you are. So that being said, my literal Facebook profile banner is my female flaring hips. If you know how to transvestigate, you can see, sorry, my hips are literally really obvious flaring, and none of your Victoria's Secret models or any of them have this. They have padding on the side, which is really disgusting. They literally go in and suck fat out of different parts of your body, and then it's called lipo sculpting, and they inject the fat back into your body in different ways to literally sculpt bone or whatever they're trying to sculpt, a bone-like thing, but so disgusting. Anyways, my literal profile banner is this because of the fact that I have this standard for other people as well, right? Like, this is what I would want, and so it's already right there. You don't even have to ask for it. I've posted countless different. Oh, here's the lipo sculpture or lipo structure type grafting, and this is the kind of body. This is actually from a website that was promoting the procedure and showed a male body being transformed into this first one right here, just by this sucking the fat, especially out of the rib, and then it kind of gives a more hourglass figure at the top, and then putting it into the sides, and you can see that it is different than. You can see that those two are different things. One is fat padding on the sides, and my finger doesn't go all the way. And my hips aren't like that. So here's a little video. I've actually been accused of having an Adonis belt. Like, this is like fat. I do not do sit-ups. This, you can kind of see how it interacts with like the fat and kind of piles over a little bit, and it can give the same appearance, but I assure you that I do not even I can't even tell you when the last time that I did a good sit-up was to even have an Adonis belt, and I'm a female, so I have never seen a real female with an Adonis belt before. It's It's MTFs that are portraying themselves as female, and there's like these really buff fitness instructors who are giving women like impossible standards because they can never be that chiseled and defined. And why would you want to be anyways? I mean, I understand like an athletic female, and I definitely have athletic traits, but I'm not into being like ripped and like try to have a six pack or something. Or like that's why would I want that? I like my belly how it is. Cool. I forgot to edit the end of that outro, but I have literally put all of my biomarkers out there for everyone to transvestigate. So anyone that is like questioning me or calling me an invert is literally hasn't done their homework, or they are a liar that is themselves an invert, and they are part. There's literally a whole group of them that is, it's like an obvious like psyop agenda that is going on, and it's just like it's ridiculous. Like we feel, but I know they can't because they're afraid of what I'm here to do. So that kind of leads into the idea of our political figures. We've talked before about Trump being an invert and not even having anything in their pants. So it's interesting to hear some of the allegations that are coming out against Trump. And, you know, none of the stories that were ever told are real, right? The stories that were told in the public are fake. The real stories are hidden. As I commented to someone earlier, like the story was like, oh, Trump was requiring this girl to, you know, do something to them. And it's like, it would be more credible if they actually had the body part that was required to do said act. The real stories, like the stories of their own child, right? Let's just pull this little nugget up here. The stories of their own child, Ivan, who they said perverted things about. Those are the stories that we don't get to hear about. I think I uploaded this video either on here. Oh no.
Although she does have a very nice figure.
Folks.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
That was Donald Trump and his daughter Ivanka on ABC's The View in 2006.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
That same year, and a few years earlier, Trump spoke with and encouraged Howard Stern.
By the way, your daughter,
She's beautiful.
can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's tall.
unbelievable.
She's almost 6 feet tall.
But for all the cringeworthy comments about Ivanka, none are as shocking as what's been revealed in a new book titled Blowback. According to author and former Trump staffer Miles Taylor, quote, Aide said Trump talked about Ivanka Trump's breasts, her backside, and what it might be like to have sex with her. Remarks that once led John Kelly, then White House Chief of Staff, to remind the president that Ivanka was his daughter, Taylor wrote. Afterward, Kelly retold that story to me in visible disgust. Trump, he said, was a very, very evil man.
So their literal public, I mean, the video goes on. There's even a video that they're like, what is the favorite thing that you have in common with your daughter? And the first thing that Trump says was, I was going to say sex. Like, no unbroken father would ever even think of that word, anything to do with their daughter. Like, that is disgusting. That is completely inappropriate. How people are even defending this loser is beyond me, but they're desperate for a hero. They're already so far into this idea that Trump is their hero and sent from God and clearing out all of the underground military bases of children or whatever, all of this stuff. And what's funny now is that the same people who were against, you know, government handouts are now trying to talk about these tariffs, the, you know, kickbacks from tariffs. And this is a funny video that I saw earlier and thought I would share with you.
You know what? $2,000 would help a lot of people. If the money's there, the money's there. If the president sent $2,000 checks to the 150 million people who make less than $100,000, it would cost $300 billion, even though the tariffs are only projected to raise about $217 annually.
The money's not there. And now I'm starting to get worried because that's $83 billion short. And I'm not saying Trump is the worst president of all time. I'm just saying I've never met anyone who was $83 billion short. And by the way, he's only $83 billion short if he hasn't promised the tariff money to anybody else.
We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers.
The big thing we want to do is pay down debt.
The president tapped into tariff revenue to keep WIC money for women and infants and children going out the door.
Tariffs is one of the reasons why we have the money in the Treasury to actually be able to pay our troops.
I think the tariffs will be enough to cut all of the income tax.
Donald Trump's suggesting the tariffs could fund the country's child care needs.
That'll easily pay for the Golden Dome, and we'll have a lot of money left over.
Money left over? The money that never existed is already spent. And you're running around the country promising money you do not have to multiple people many times over. Every week I'm at this desk, I say this, and I guess I'll have to say this for 3 more years, but this is crackhead behavior.
It absolutely is. It is ridiculous. And Trump will just make all of these promises and never keep any of them. And yeah, it's very interesting to see the Brotherhood of the Serpent at work. And, you know, Trump was literally bailed out of debt by a Rothschild. Like, multiple times have they failed in business. And, you know, part of that is part of the story and more ways to get Trump out of or under their control or whatever. But yeah, it's a fast moving train towards a new world order, and people still don't get it. Like the fact that this picture even exists, like, it actually makes me really sad because the sexual things that Trump has said about their kid, and then while even they were like younger, and the mentality of these parasites is not anything that us normal humans can even really wrap our minds around, because they are very, very broken individuals, and the way that they see things, the way that they view sex, the way that they view reality is really twisted. And the sooner people wake up to that, the sooner better off we'll all be. What's this picture? Oh. It's just my side profile to show you my lovely feminine biomarkers, my flat forehead, my shallow set eyes. There's no brow ridge. My cheeks are soft. My jaw is soft. Literally all my biomarkers are feminine. And so, yeah, I'm almost done with my tirade for right now. What's this? Oh, yeah. It's kind of just threw in here so that people can kind of understand that they're using both sides, right? And they use them. This whole plan has been laid out so much far in advance. Like, who really knows? Because a lot of it seems to be repeated, rinse and repeat from time to time, because why fix what's not broken? Just keep doing the same things that you've done before. And that's kind of one reason that we are like, oh, I'm getting deja vu, because we've been through this before. So as far as like all of the presidents that have ever come about until this point, even the stuff with all the Obama and like the racism that they tried to stir up, and every single piece has been part of this planned out puzzle. And it's crazy that people, especially when we're like talking about Epstein Island, which I think is, again, not the real story. They give us a fake distraction story and everyone get mad about that, while the real stories are unheard of, right? I was going to mention earlier, the real stories would be like a child coming up and saying, Trump doesn't have male parts. Yes, they did do bad things. They are horribly, sexually abusing, violent, all of these different things. But, you can't have these little ones coming out and saying that they're all inverts. So you have all of these decoy stories that are made up that go into really gruesome details, and they really try to sell it to us. So I would definitely be leery about all the stuff with like the Epstein files, and how, they're always distracting us from other things that are going on. The different bills that are going on, and how they're starting to try to mess with hemp criminalization again. Not, I don't understand the finer details of the bill yet. I still have to fine tune my understanding of that. But there's other things that they are doing in the meantime. Stuff with Israel and the Zionists, those that say that they are Jews but lie, and those other plans that they have going on. And media is always just to distract us and never the actual real story of what's going on. Cool. All right. I think that's my rant for now. Let's check out the live chat and see how everybody is doing. Hey Dave, how's it going? Dave says, "Wahoo, you're here. Yeah, you sound pretty good. Cool." Yeah, it was a stressful beginning to my live stream, but thankfully I did make it. Hello to everybody. Thanks for shouting out to everybody amongst each other as well. I appreciate the community vibes and friendship. I don't know, embrace. What are your thoughts on Labubu dolls? Harmless toy or something darker? I have only seen a few things recently about that, but it is really interesting that there was a scene or episode on The Simpsons where I think it was called Pazuzu, and it is, there's a video circulating that compares this to what people are noticing with this Labubu doll and obsession and different, things in their house going awry, and it's very interesting. So it'd be fun to do a deeper dive into it and kind of see. I definitely believe that they can create toys and dolls and other things with nefarious intent, which they do. I mean, all the dolls and stuff that we're given also have like the inverted biomarkers, and they're designed to from a young age confuse us. But as far as possessed dolls, wasn't like with Furbies and even the troll dolls, there have been different things throughout history that people have been like, "Oh, this is demonic" and stuff. And so often we're quick to throw shade at it, be like, "No, that's not real," and while also not being willing to go out and buy one ourselves to see if it's real or not. But I definitely think that the farther that we go towards this new world order path, the more nefarious things are going to get. That, I think those things are called ugly cute monsters, and one of the things is that you don't know which one that you're going to get, and so they've tried to really make a whole culture about it. And yeah, it's really interesting how they can do that and then make something so popular, whatever they choose. And how much of that is real popularity, or you just have one celebrity, promote it, and then you have your invert bot NPC, they're not bots, but whatever. You have bees in your hive mind go out and support it on the internet, and they're liking and they're doing all this stuff, and then it gives this illusion that it's popular while it hasn't even taken off yet. So it's really crazy to think about how easily they can manipulate our species in general, and especially the less spiritually connected that we are, and the more materialistic and capitalistic and dominating and all of these negative things that we are, the more easier it is for them to control us and manipulate us, right? If they just have a bunch of celebrities do this, now all of a sudden all of these shallow people with no real substance in their insides, their knowledge, their heart, now everybody wants it, right? And then the dumbest things become popular. Rinse and repeat. Anyone follow Library of Tot? How do you? I think I recently read an article that was saying that it's pronounced Tot, I don't know, or Tot. Anyways, I have not followed them. No, I usually don't like follow anyone on YouTube. But I'm open to, new things and new information wherever it is. So I'll have to. I don't know where my keyboard went. I'll have to try to remember that to check it out later. Sorry, I'm button smashing. Doing crazy things. Okay. Artist says, I always get a bad vibe when I see a Labubu doll. Interesting. I don't believe that I've ever seen one in real life. So it'd be interesting to actually see what they. That was a dumb question, but do they sell them at Walmart? Because it'd be interesting to like go and just feel the vibes of it to see. I trust you. I'm just interested to see for myself, just because it's cool to become more in tune with the vibrations of things around us, because everything is frequency, vibration, energy, and some things are low and some things are high, and so often, there's a mix around us. And yeah. Hey Daniel, how's it going? Hello, beautiful evening. Just wanted to say, if more people believe in reincarnation, this world would get better. I definitely agree with that. It's interesting to see the religions like mainstream Christianity. I always default to that because that's where I came from. So don't like, I'm not like picking on them. That's just what my biggest knowledge base is, because that's where I come from. That's what I'm, whatever. This idea of, this earth isn't our home, heaven's our home. We got to get out of here. And even the rapture, it's like, hurry up and everybody get out. And that just leaves the world to the darkness, right? We came here to be the light, and the meek inherit the earth. The earth is made for us. It's just fallen, and we get to help lift it back up. So it's this interesting escapism mentality that is programmed into so many religions that don't believe in reincarnation, and then the ones that do believe in reincarnation oftentimes think it's a trap, think it's something negative, have false beliefs about reincarnation, rather than, I love Megillah's belief system and how it explains that it's a cosmic school, and we can either get into a better classroom or a worse classroom by our deeds. And then once you ascend to heaven most high, then you get to choose at that time to reincarnate. Where some groups like Buddhists think that getting to nirvana and even ceasing to exist on a self level is the goal. We do not believe that, because we believe that existence is part of the gift that Yah gave us, and existence, consciousness, and bliss are the purpose, and that's like the default. So everything is just naturally going to keep going and existing and expanding by default, because of the divine spark of Yah that's within everything, that is giving it divinity and permeating throughout all of that. So I really love that perspective of it. And yeah. Matrix says, when did women start thinking tight spandex pants in public was a good thing? Probably when they were programmed to believe that through media and encouraged by various males to continue doing it. I don't know. Julian said, I never thought you were a dude, but I wonder how many of us were here just because we need a pretty girl around. Well, yeah, it is unfortunate that there are people that only come because they want a pretty girl around. But I do appreciate those that are here for the actual deeper meaning. You guys like help me not lose hope in humanity, because it can be really discouraging when people just like they don't care about emotions, they don't care about the intellectual side, they don't care about the spiritual truths. They're just like, oh, let's just see some hot girls and masturbate and just it's just like, what's wrong with you? Thank you for those that aren't like that. Dude, he says you're very clearly female. Anyone who can accurately transvestigate can see you are a real girl. Thank you. Hey, Strider Wins, how's it going? David says the pelvis is the gold standard biomarker for determining gender, and you have female, flaring female hips. Exactly. And all my other biomarkers are female as well. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm thinking about the different pictures and stuff that they've used to try to like to claim that I am what I'm not. It's usually when I'm like talking, so like my jaw is a little bit more elongated because my mouth is open or something, and I'm just making a weird face, or I'm dancing, and so I'm like in the middle of a movement and my back looks flatter than it does when I'm actually standing straight up. And so it's like every time they're using unrighteous snapshots to try to promote this agenda. And unfortunately, people that don't look under the surface will just believe it. And then they'll see a whole group of people that are a whole group of accounts that are agreeing with this crap. And then they believe it's true. And then that's how you literally can manipulate people. So. David says they can't leave you alone. You are revealing the truth to all of the ignorant humans. Yeah, I understand that none of us that are truly out here trying to make a difference are going to be left alone, and we signed up for it. So toughen up, you know. I'm speaking to myself because it can be really frustrating, and it can be really easy to spiral out when things are going wrong, and you're just meeting just, you know, struggle after struggle after struggle, and yeah, it could be hard to keep on the path. So thankfully, you know, for me at least, having the light at the end of the tunnel, knowing why my soul came here, like I will not ever commit suicide, just in case anybody, you know, I'm not suicidal, and if anything mysterious happens to me, ask questions, okay? Daisy says that terrorists can apparently pay for everything, even the Golden Dome. It's kind of like a child that has like 20 bucks, and then they just think that they can like buy the whole world with it. And by the end of like you asking them what their list is, they bought the whole store, and it's like, okay, well, you can't even buy any of that. So, anyways, it is just funny when the patriots who are against government handouts are now saying, we want government handouts, it's our money, give it back to us. So, I don't know. Kara says, when did a stand-up comedian start a comedy news show? Let me see what that one is actually called, because I saved it here on my... it's called The Daily Show, and I saw it on Facebook. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, The Daily Show is what it's called. Julian said, I don't think Trump's comments about his daughter were weird. She is/was beautiful. I don't know how you ignore it. I'm beautiful too, but my dad would never say those things that Trump said about Ivanka, and would never, ever even bring sex in the conversation. Like, that is, it's really disgusting. And yeah, and saying that you would date them if they weren't your daughter and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just too much for me, but billions and billions and billions of tariffs. Yeah. And how much of those tariffs, yeah, are us paying extra money? And it's just stop, you know, just stop it. Stop trying to mess with things. But this is the role to come in and cause chaos and help bring about the new world order. It's their Trump card. That's why their name is Trump. I watched a doc when Obama was in power. It told there was over 100 people who wrote the script for president. Also saying everything publicly said is scripted. Oh, cool. That's interesting that they had maybe a group of people that were coming out and saying all of that. I just read in the Protocols of Zion. I know that Julian, you had mentioned that before, and I have been reading them because it is interesting stuff. This one is a protocol number 10, and it says, in order that our scheme may produce this result, we shall arrange elections in favor of such presidents as have in their past some dark, undiscovered stain, some Panama or other. Then they will be trustworthy agents for the accomplishment of our plans out of fear of revelations and from the natural desire of everyone who has attained power, namely the retention of the privileges, advantages, and honor connected with the office of president. Again, that was from the Protocols of the Elders of Zion from 1897. So yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a really long time, and all presidents have been under their control. There's like pictures of all of them with their little tiny hats kissing the wall and surrounded by them, and all of these different signs that literally show that these people are not our friends. So David says a Treehouse of Horror reveals Pazuzu demon associated with the doll. Okay, is that what the episode name is called, I assume? A lot of truth revealed in The Simpsons. The Labubus have been so popular it made the creator China's youngest billionaire. Wow, that's really amazing. I mean, not amazing, but I shouldn't even be surprised because everything's so scripted in this reality. Accidents, bad luck, dogs won't stop barking at the dog One of our groups says since associate part of the Goo Goo Doll, they have seen an influx of ants. Oh, interesting. So a bunch of different things that they are claiming. Yeah, I would love to deep dive a little bit more into the allegations because I've only really seen that Simpsons episode, and maybe I can download it for next week so that we can watch it together and whatever. Cool. Hello, Boston Ray Mud Flood Adventures. How's it going? Ray says Kung Fu. You'll always be my queen. Aw, thanks. I appreciate that. And thank you for your kind words in Mark's chat last night. David, he says, if they say Queen committed suicide, they are lying. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, these mysterious events that have helped disappear people that not only, speak the truth about the fake Jews that run our world, which Charlie Kirk was a psyop and a scam tactic. I don't believe that Charlie is dead at all. But silencing people that talk against the government of whatever groups, people that go try to make cars that run off of water, or people that try to tap into free energy, all of these different things that go against the system, they end up disappearing in some mysterious way or committing suicide the day before they go and put their patent in, or just some. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I'm just like saying that these are random, things that are obviously not true are what we're sold. And as I say that, I'm like, well, how much of those stories is true too? Because it's in the news. So, anyways, who the heck knows what's real? What I do know is real is the spiritual stuff, and that's what I'm excited about. Anyways, I do know that the Earth is flat. I do know that chemtrails are real. I do know a lot of things that are real. But as far as like media hoaxes and different things, even stories that were told in psychology regarding like Stockholm syndrome, and how the real story is that like people were held captive and they were just like attentively listening so that they could get out. They didn't like leave saying that they loved their captor or wanted to anything that we're told about Stockholm syndrome, right? The Stanford Milgram experiment, is that the shock one? The prison experiment, all of these things, when the other files were released, we see that there was coercion, there was manipulation, there was deception. All of these things were involved, and then the results that we are given, not agreeing. Like with the shock experiment, the people that didn't believe that the person was actually being shocked were the ones that cranked it up, whereas the people that did actually believe that it was real were more cautious about doing it. There was a person, dressed up as the one that was in charge. It would be like, if you don't continue going, the whole experiment is going to be thrown out the window. Like, we need you to continue going. You guys agree to this, and like putting pressure on them. So there was different things that were happening behind the scenes that we're not told about. And yeah, same thing with the prison experiment. And it's just it's cool how it's kind of coming to light in these end ages, and we can kind of see how many ways that we've been deceived, and it goes really deep. So, hey Kyle, how's it going? Kyle says the Wailing Wall. Yes, the wall that has caused a lot of wailing, right? Yeah. Straightaway said, did you see Kanye apologizing to the Jews? No, I did not. That is interesting, but not surprising at all. It's going to be more of this, anti-Semitism, anti-Israel push to really polarize people. Someone brought up the Samson option, which is basically Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with weapons as a last resort against a country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. So that'd be an interesting thing to. They have been involved in so much evil. Like it'd be interesting if they. I've heard of like the United States of Israel and different things. Like, we're already being run by this. And let me just make clear for those who don't know, I am in no way, shape, or form against real Jewish people. These are the ones that say that they are Jews and lie. This is the government, the the hidden strings that are involved with, child misconduct, sexual misconduct with children, um, just bribery, and a bunch of different evils that they have been systematically kicked out of countries for, and this is the evil that is running our world. And they say that they're Jews, so that they can demonize these people, and ultimately God's people, Judah, and the the real ones. But they've been involved in so much evil with Palestine, and if something did happen to come against Israel, and it'd just be really interesting to see that kind of war play out, especially with how polarized, like America, for instance, is in favor of Israel. The American patriots, the Bible thumpers that are like, we got to back Israel no matter what. And yeah, we have a president in the White House right now that is aligned with all of these ideas. Not that the other ones haven't, but literally blatantly in our face, having like a whole crowd of people in their office, and just all the different things. Like, there's a video of them bragging about their daughter converting to Judaism, and one of the things with the conversion is like denouncing Christ and different things that are probably not appropriate so much. Although I don't accept mainstream Christianity, I definitely would not denounce Christ or the Christ family or anything like that. And I think there's some nefarious agendas with all of that. So, but hello, Warren Kenneth. How's it going? David, he says, if it's on the news, it's basically always a deception. They don't want humans to know any truth at all. Exactly. What do you think will happen with next with AI based on the Megillah? That's an interesting question, because it does talk about humans being led down this path that we're unsure of, where we start merging with AI and machines, and the ultimate, yeah, the ultimate, essentially the third body of Satan being the body of metal merged with matter, and that's their ultimate goal. So that's what the big thing that they've been revealing and trying to get towards is enslaved light, where you are ignorant, you don't understand that you are immortal, or maybe you do, and maybe you're afraid, and maybe you don't want to give up your wealthy worldly status and all this stuff. And then you're like, yes, I will become an enslaved light. Sign me up. Let me become an artificial. I'll just stay here. I'll become part of the control system of deceivers, and I get to help run this world of 666, right? That's what they're going with. I personally do not agree with that at all. I'm going on an upward path. I came here on a mission, and I'm not interested in getting stuck here or staying. Not getting stuck, but kind of. We do risk forgetting why we came here and falling down the ladder of existence, even when we have already ascended through the school and we're coming back to be the light. So, gotta be really careful. Matt Rick says that we need airships to go to the ice wall. Yeah, a trip to the ice wall would be really interesting. It would be really interesting to go to the ice wall and be able to travel freely in general. I don't even really believe on maps, because any maps that we have been given to us. So how do we even know where the countries and everything are laid out without the resources ourselves to be able to determine that? So it would be really cool to go to the ice wall and get to kind of fly around and explore this world how it was meant to be. David, he says that he had to be kicked out of over 100 countries. Definitely. And then they tried to, infiltrate the government in the next one or establish it. Oh, sorry. And make it illegal for you to speak against them, right? Don't talk against them. So what says that sounds really dark? And maybe David took that as you're talking about the suicide thing, but I just wanted to get out ahead of the curve, because who knows what they have planned. When we read the story of Samson in the Holy Megillah, they say that the ultimate feast for these parasites isn't to kill us. It is to actually corrupt us and then feast off of all of the pain and suffering that we experience, that we cause other people, and all of that darkness that comes about from falling down the ladder. So that is their actual goal, not killing us off. So being killed is actually less of a threat than one might think, at least at this point in the game. Once they start saying that, once the AI government comes and they are deeming people expendable, if you're elderly, if you're mentally unwell, if you have different disabilities, you're going to be deemed expendable, and the master brain's going to say, no, we don't give them resources. And then that leads to the naturals getting put out into the wilderness. And that's when we're actually at risk, because they get our fellow humans to become these cyborgs, and they become convinced that they need to exterminate us because we are a threat to the world. So think about these like post-apocalypse or apocalypse movies or whatever that you think about, like some crazy catastrophe happens, and then like these alien beings come in to help save the day, and how everyone does their part is just put this little chip in, do this little thing here, do this little tweak in your biology that has to do with upgrading to technology, and everything's going to be great. I'm thinking specifically what just popped in my mind was a movie called The Host, which I've mentioned before. Maybe we should watch it one time, like for a little Friday night fun. The aliens take over and then push this exact narrative that the end is here. There's scarce resources, but if everybody works together and takes this upgrade, everything's going to be fine. And so now the people that don't take it are seen as threats and problems, and they're literally hunted down. And so David D asked what I see with the AI stuff, and that's what I think that their plan is, to really bring about the programming that they've already shown us in Hollywood so many different times. Striderwind says metal mixed with the clay equals cyberpunk timeline. Cyberpunk, cyberpunk Mad Max type situation. I don't know that powers that be want controlled chaos, so they do want things to get out of control, but then they want it to be in the ways that they want it to be, so that they can control the outcome. And when there is uncontrolled chaos, that's when you're gonna not find them, because they're going to be in their bunkers, in their hidden places, away from the surface of all of the craziness. So it says Samson and Delilah. If you that is the video that says things worse than death on my is a short reel that I just uploaded semi recently. So David D says these demonic parasites don't want us dead. They feed on us. They need us alive. Exactly. Like a fiery gas alien atmosphere to the living environment for these fiery evil fallen aliens of fiery sorcerers. Know our aliens to the living atmosphere. I think that the Seraphim artificials have been here before us, especially in the idea of Adam and Eve story. They were already at the edge of the garden when Adam and Eve started to exist. But I do agree that they are the Seraphim. They're the fiery beings. So it's interesting that that they've changed the atmosphere so much, and there's allegations that Nibiru is their like dream world type thing. It's a world of flames, and that goes right along with this seraphim, fiery serpent. That's what they literally are. So they are ramping up the fear on 3i Atlas. It's sped up, turned blue, and on its way. Hashtag December 19th. Okay, interesting. The Nazarene New Year is on December 21st, and I'm super excited to be going hopefully to Florence for church service on the actual day of the new year, which would be so, so cool. But yeah, hopefully nothing happens in the alien invasion before then, because I have plans. They need to hold off on their dumb Project Bluebeam stuff a little bit longer so that we can get some stuff done. Kyle said I started making AI songs again. Okay, cool. Anything good? You have to send it over to me. I have been I've been thinking about some new songs recently, and I still haven't gotten around to recording the song that I was gonna record before. It's been a little bit chaotic in my life recently, and then yeah. So what, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section. This is on all of my platforms, actually. I put it on Instagram and Facebook, and I think Rumble and YouTube as well, so that it could get out there. Just little snippets of these stories, hopefully to catch people's attention and like get them wanting more from it. The Megillah has really been enlightening for me, and yeah, full of a lot of awesome spiritual truths. So I think I'm gonna get off of here soon. I've been hogging this table for a little while, and I'm feeling a little bit bad about it. And plus, people live side by side me, so I'm not really feeling comfortable about that. David, he says, seraphim enslaved souls do not die. These machines existed at the beginning of Adam and Eve's story in Megillah. Exactly, they are trapped here in 666, and they literally couldn't get into the Garden of Eden. They needed Adam and Eve to lower the vibration of that garden paradise in order to interact with it. And that's, the first thing that they had Adam and Eve do was kill animals. And at first they're saying, you're actually still too light. Even though you have killed the animal, you're still too light to even be able to eat it. You need to go kill some more before you're actually able to consume that really dense, heavy flesh. One of the things that they were commanded to do was actually go and find a mother deer who's grazing with her child, and in front of the mother deer, kill the child, and then kill the mother, and then eat. Right? All of that loosh and energy that the mom, yeah, crazy. But you can see how that can lower the vibration and then literally lead us to this fallen world that we are in now. And the way out of it is by doing the opposite, by returning to the fleshless diet and returning to an Edenic mentality with the world around us, where we're trying to live in harmony with it. We're not doing deforestation, we're not polluting the water, we're not polluting the air, all of these different things, which obviously we're not the ones that are controlling that, the powers that be are. But a lot of the things that they do are karmic, and they get our consent through other methods, especially through farming animals and all of that. So we just need to, get rid of the whole powers that be. And really change things, move towards that blessed future that the book of Enoch in the Holy Megillah talks about, rather than the future that we're on now, that is destruction of the earth and using up all the resources to do stupid things, even the AI, and how horribly resourced that all is. It's really, really hurting our world, and we need to return to the Edenic way. Obviously, we're only one person, but one person, we all have families. We have people around us that can see our example, and we can plant seeds and change the world through, a ripple effect of being that light, being the example of what we all want to see. Cool. All right. Looks like the link worked on YouTube. I'm going to jump off of here and maybe get some French fries because I'm a little peckish. So I will catch up with you tomorrow for the noontime peace contemplation. And, if you ever have other topics that you want me to do a longer video on, I would love for you to let me know. And that being said, I hope you have a wonderful evening. May God and bless you.